Listen. Can you hear it? It is a sound older than any empire, older than any language you know. It is the sound of wind singing in stone. For 5,000 years they have stood here, on this lonely plain in the south of England, a circle of silent giants, their gray skin polished smooth by the relentless caress of time. These are the bones of the earth, reaching for a sky strewn with forgotten stars. We call them Stonehenge. But the people who raised them had no name for them. They had no writing, no blueprints, no machines. They only had their hands, their faith, and a secret so profound they were willing to move mountains to keep it. They dragged stones the weight of whales across hundreds of kilometers of wild lands. They shaped them with the precision of a watchmaker, and they aligned them not with the roads and rivers of men, but with the silent, cosmic pathways of the sun and the moon. This was not a building. This was a machine, a cathedral wheeled by the turning of the stars. Tonight, we will not try to solve this mystery. We will let the mystery solve us. We will walk among the silent watchers and listen to their stony whisper. The story of this place is a ghost story told in layers. The first layer is a whisper, a chalk circle dug into the earth 5 millennia ago. A wound in the green skin of the world, perhaps filled with offerings or with the bones of the loved and departed. But the true mystery begins with the arrival of the blue stones. Imagine them, not gray and silent, but alive, with a strange dark blue-gray light speckled with crystals that glittered like trapped stars. They were brought from a sacred mountain range in Wales, a journey of unthinkable length and hardship. Why these particular stones? The ancient tales say they were magical, that they were bathed in the healing waters of a sacred spring, that they held the memories of ancestors. To carry one was to carry a piece of the heavens. They were not just building materials, they were relics. And then came the Titans, the great sarsen stones. They are the true giants of the plain, their surface like the skin of ancient elephants. Imagine the scene. Hundreds of people, muscles straining, breath turning to frost in the cold air, pulling these monoliths across the land on wooden rollers that groaned like dying beasts. Every inch a victory. Every meter a generation of work. And the genius of it? They were not simply stacked like children's blocks. They were joined, carved with a skill that seems almost alien. The great horizontal stones lock into the uprights, creating a perfect, unbroken ring, a crown for the entire world. Why build such a thing? What obsession could fuel such a monumental task? The stones give no single answer. They are like a strange, multifaceted jewel, and each face reflects a new possibility. Perhaps it was a mirror for the cosmos, an earthly observatory built to catch the light of distant suns. The entire circle is an astronomical clock of impossible precision. On the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, a blade of golden light pierces the heart of the circle, a perfect cosmic handshake. Was it a calendar carved in stone to know when to plant and when to harvest? Or something more? A place where astronomer priests, wrapped in furs and gazing at the celestial ocean, could predict the coming and going of comets, the silent, fiery tears of the gods. Or perhaps the stones looked not to the sky, but to the earth, to the frail human bodies that walked between them. The theory of healing is a powerful one. In the earth around the circle, we have found the remains of the sick, the injured, the desperate, people with broken bodies who made their final pilgrimage to this place.
Imagine they arrived at twilight, hobbling towards the glowing blue stones, believing that the magic within could mend their bones, purify their blood, and grant them another sunrise. Was Stonehenge a house of the gods? Or was it the world's first hospital? But there is a third reflection, the darkest and perhaps the truest, that Stonehenge was never meant for the living. It was a gateway, a silent city for the dead. The great avenue that leads to its heart is aligned with the sunset of the winter solstice, the day the world symbolically dies before its rebirth. Imagine a slow procession carrying the ashes of a chieftain or a beloved child. They walk the path of the dying sun, entering the stone circle as if entering the underworld itself. Here, surrounded by the eternal stones, they could speak to the spirits of their ancestors. It was a place where the veil between worlds was thin enough to whisper through.
A star chart, a hospital, a tomb. Three faces of the same mystery. And the truth? The truth is a secret the stones have kept for 5,000 years. They do not speak our language. They speak in the tongue of granite and sunlight, of solstices and eclipses, a language of deep time that we are only just beginning to learn. They stand as a monument not to a king or a battle, but to a question so powerful it could move mountains. They are the silent watchers, and they remind us that the greatest stories are not those with a clear ending, but those that leave us with a universe of beautiful, unanswered questions. Tonight, let their ancient, profound silence be your lullaby. Sleep well.